Jamie says, I have a site with 4 locations in Tennessee, and I'm setting up local maps for all 4 locations. I was wondering if I can or should create branded link wheels for each location. Same brand for all locations. Not sure if it would be a problem to have so many branded properties. Any thoughts? Thanks. Yeah, Jamie, we talk about this often. It's a good question. But yeah, we've talked about this many times. So what I always like to do is, especially if you are, okay, if it's the same brand, typically the way that I set things up is if I'm going to be creating like city-specific sites, I'll build them on subdomains of the root domain, right? So whatever the brand, I usually will have branded domains for the company, which will be the root domain. And then if I'm going to make location-specific sites, then I'll add subdomains with the city name as a subdomain, and then I'll install WordPress and you know, put up the pages, but not usually a blog on those sites, because I can use the root domain as the blog because it's the same brand, just like you mentioned, Jamie. So if it's the same if it's the same brand, then you can put the blog on the root domain and then build links to all of the 4 location sites, the 4 you know, individual location sites by just blogging from the root domain. That's a hell of a lot simpler to manage. Does that make sense? Because if you, I mean, you could do a separate blog on each separate site if you're doing that, you know, you could, and you could have a separate ring for each, and you may need to do that. But typically what I will do is just create the one branded ring, IFTTT ring, right? And I'll blog from the root domain blog and use the blog post to build links to all of the subdomain sites or all of the individual locations. You might not have subdomain sites. Maybe you have individual location pages. That's fine. It doesn't matter. Either way, you could still build links to the location sites or pages from the blog with one IFTTT ring. However, if you find that there's a, like, for example, say out of the 4 locations that you have, one of them is not responding as well to the, you know, the IFTTT blogging strategy as the other 3. This is just hypothetical, guys, but let's say that one of them is not responding as well. Then you could always go out and create a separate IFTTT ring specific for that one location. It can be the same brand, but then you can add like the city name into, you know, the subdomains for when you're creating the IFTTT ring. It could be a location specific branded ring, if that makes sense. And then you could you know, hit that one ring specifically with posts for that one location to help give it a boost. But always try to rank with the minimum amount of work that it takes, guys. And so for that reason, it's a great question, Jamie, because you don't want to go out and build 4 IFTTT rings when you don't need to. And chances are you can probably get away with just one. And again, if any one particular location is not responding as well as you would like it to, then you can always build a location specific ring for that. Okay.